Live stream number 3 from Johnson City Schools. We got Dr. Timms down there grinning from ear to ear. This is an all Johnson City Schools day here on the Canvas live streams. We are highlighting maybe some non-traditional programs at that district that are really using Canvas innovatively and effectively. And we love talking to each one of these teachers. This morning, we talked to the counselors at 9 o'clock Eastern time. And then at 10 o'clock, we followed that up with a fantastic world language session. My goodness. And I just can't wait to get started right now with our physical education, lifetime wellness teachers, Kelly, Missy, David. Thank you guys so much for taking a little portion out of your day and the craziness that happens in your courses and classes to talk to us about how you're using Canvas in a phys ed / wellness class. And this is going to be a great session. And I know we're going to start with Kelly. Again, as always, those viewers out there, please make sure you comment. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you'd like to get out of this session. If you have any comments, use the chat feature on your platforms or use the comment feature. And we would love to interact with you during this session. These guys are fantastic. Got a chance to meet them right before the stream. Missy might be a little nervous, but that's okay. There's always one, Missy, and it can be you. No, she's very excited. And Kelly and David, you guys are going to be fantastic. So I'm going to jump out of here and let Kelly Lane take over on this exciting session on how to use Canvas in phys ed and wellness. Very excited to have you guys. Thanks, Kelly, and thanks, Missy. Thank you, David, for being here.
Eddie and everyone at Canvas, thank you so much for having us today. Really looking forward to this session and touching on the different things we've been able to do with Canvas this year. Like Eddie said, my name is Kelly Lane. This is a picture here of me and my wife. We've been married a little bit over 5 years. And there's a picture of our baby girl. Miss Everly is 8 months old. She is our entire world right now. A little bit about me. I graduated from East Tennessee State University. And for the past 7 years, I've been teaching at Indian Trail, which is our 5th and 6th grade school here in Johnson City. We have over 1,100 students. And through this pandemic coming into this school year, we've had a couple different times where all 1,100 plus students have been fully remote. When we were able to transition back into in-person learners, we still had a couple hundred students that were what we've been calling registered remote students. And so for the most part, that's where our main Canvas use has been. But like I said, there were a couple times that all of our students were able to get on there through PE and access our Canvas course. And then I have a Science Hill logo over there because I am the boys tennis coach at Science Hill. So that touches a little bit about me. This would be our home page when a student has PE and they get on their Canvas. What we've done is with our 10-year-olds and our 11-year-olds, our 5th and 6th graders, like I mentioned, we really want to make this really visually appealing to our kids. So in a Google Slides presentation, we created the Indian Trail Virtual Gym. This is an exact screen, a picture of our gym. We actually have TVs up top, which is cool. So we were able to run a video that kids, when they first get on here, they would watch that. And then over here, you can see they would watch this second. It talks a little bit about the class. It talks about how to navigate through this Google Slides presentation. We have 3 PE teachers here at Indian Trail, myself, Miss C, and Coach Smelser. And so they learn that they can click on us and they can find out specific information about their teachers.
Let me stop you, Kelly. I got to stop right here.
Sir.
And here's why.
Already, Eddie, already.
We are 3 minutes into this live stream. And if you are not, a lot of people probably say, well, I'm not a phys ed teacher. I'm not a wellness teacher. Probably not a lot of information. Run the tape, because whatever this is happening on the screen is the most engaging slide I have seen in a phys ed or wellness environment, maybe in a traditional classroom environment. My goodness, we have got so much goodness happening on this. And you said it, you hit the nail on the head, right? We've got, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds. How in the world do we engage them? Ta-da, right? I mean, look at this thing.
I will spare you, but if you click on my icon here, my little Bitmoji guy, it's actually me doing the same exact dance moves, but we do not have enough time.
Oh, no, we've got plenty of time, sir. Let's make
we got to get this thing rolling. We got to get this thing rolling. So I'm actually, like I said, this is our homepage. This would be our week 1 homepage. This is our week 1 page where students, when they go into modules, this is exactly what they would see. Now, we're a little bit different than Liberty Bell and Coach Nutter, who you're going to hear from. He's at our middle school, 7th and 8th grade. And then Missy Cutlip is our representative from Scienceville with the high school kids. I know they had some more synchronous options, but for Indian Trail, our administration wanted their related arts classes through Canvas to be asynchronous. So what we've set up here, and it looks a little busy at first, but like I said, we had an intro video that kids watched and that it showed them how to navigate this. And again, it's asynchronous. So we put out the different daily fitness activities. This was what was required for our kids, whether they could get to it on Monday or not. They could click that. If they couldn't get to everything till Wednesday, it's totally up to them. But when you click this, you could see we have our standards here that they could access, give you an option, an example of a day. Now, this is just 2 different videos that we've embedded in, but we've also created a lot of different games.
Oh no, did we lose Kelly?
Uh-oh.
Is he there? Did we lose him? No, I cannot believe it. We might have lost. What happened over there in that gym? Does anybody need to check on him? I'll tell you what we're going to do.
I'm sure Coach Nutter is checking on him right now.
Coach Nutter.
I just texted them like, where are you? We can't hear you.
That's okay. Hey, we can
Our
be flexible.
worst fear, just realize.
We're educators. We can be flexible.
This is what happens in the classroom all the time.
Oh, sorry.
Kelly's not going to love. There he is. He's
Oh,
back.
There he is.
Kelly, welcome back to the live stream.
Did I jump off for a second?
Yeah, we lost you for a few, but that's
You
okay.
were
You're back.
frozen.
That's the most important part.
Okay. I'm going to go back to this point. Did you hear anything about here, this slide?
Absolutely not. We're completely lost.
Okay, let me go back to this page.
There you go.
You saw the daily fitness activities. Is that correct?
Yep.
Can you hear me, Eddie?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, you
Okay,
should
so
go.
you saw these. So like I said, we give them different options on the days. That's something that's required for them to do. And then one thing that our kids love are these optional games that we put out. So here's a slide. Are we still good?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we just have these random cones and tennis balls spread out across our gym, talking about how do we get kids moving? How do we get kids still active, engaged, and not just sitting at a screen all day? So when they come to this page, they're actually looking to try to find the correct cone or tennis ball that's going to lead them to a game that we have made. So they were going to click around, try to remember where they were, but eventually they would find the correct cone. And like I said, this is a game that we had called Cone Trap. We try to find objects that they're going to have around their house. And if they don't, we tell them some different options they could use. But essentially, you're taking a ball, taking socks and making it as a ball, and you're rolling it, and there's different points involved. Kids really enjoyed this one. The other one is the tennis game. This one gave me so many laughs because we made it tough on our students. And we even gave them a hint, because if you keep flicking the tennis balls, you might think you see it, but in reality, the hint says sometimes tennis balls get stuck on top of the bleachers. And so way up here in this top corner, there's a tiny tennis ball, and you can find that. And again, that's a game that you can play at your house. We had a lot of messages from students laughing, saying how long it took them to find it, or some would say, I found it without the hint. But what was cool is they would find that and they would play that game, and they really enjoyed it. But by far the most popular thing on our Canvas page were the PE challenges that we put out each week. You see this down here, we have a water bottle, and by clicking this, they would find out that this weekly PE challenge, you need a water bottle. We add a fitness element into it to where they're doing jumping jacks in between. And here, if you click on a teacher, you will actually get to see them participate in this challenge. And you'll watch, we're doing jumping jacks. We're trying to land the bottle flip. Kids could watch us participate in this, and then we give them an option. If they want to try to match or try to beat our scores, they could send in a video, which I'll show you where that was in a little bit. And this leaderboard, I had to remove the names, but in reality, this leaderboard takes up about half the screen at the end of the week because we have so many students that are sending in videos. They've absolutely just...
Kelly, are these just the remote students, or are these everyone?
So, like I said, at one point, Indian Trail, we started off the year in August with everybody was remote. And so those students had a chance to access this. And then it kind of phased into just our registered remotes. But one thing that we found when we had to go back fully remote in January, when we put this out there, it was such a big hit that we're going to continue to do this even for our in-person learners. We can have these challenges on our Canvas page that they can access. Again, it's just it's a brain break from all the different rigor of their core subjects, but getting a chance to come in here and they love to try to beat our scores. You'll get messages like, hey, take that, Coach Lane, Miss Z, I'm coming for your score. And like I said, this leaderboard ends up being huge by the end of it because there's so many student names. The final thing I just want to show you here, I'm not necessarily looking to make this a tutorial on how to do this, but the best thing about Canvas is how easily you can integrate this Google Slides presentation. All I've just published this to the web. You can see this as it's rolling. You're going to get an embed code. And I think that's what's so cool is the 3 teachers, we would all use this same embed code. And once I've copied it, you'll notice how it goes to this demo page that I have. But if you're ever on Canvas and you're making pages, you can, like I said, make it as a home page, which you saw earlier. This is a page found in a module. This button down here, you can click and then you can hit raw HTML editor. And the 3 of PE teachers at Indian Trail would copy that embed code and paste it there, click it back over, and boom, there's that page automatically in Canvas. If I updated it once, it would update across all of our Canvas courses. It would update for Miss C and Coach Smelser so they could see the student names on the leaderboard. And again, this is just a screenshot here of what our modules would look like. There's that PE page that we just talked about that has the daily fitness activities, the optional games that kids and parents and sisters and brothers could play in. They loved these weekly challenges where if they wanted to, they could send in a video so we could verify their score. And if they sent the video in, we would put them on the leaderboard. And at the end of the week, as an assessment and accountability, they would turn in a weekly physical activity log, and that would give us a chance to see exactly what all they'd done, how much time they could set goals and reflect on the week and talk about what they could do to get better from there.
Ooh, hey, the HTML stuff, I didn't know I was going to get that. Kelly, you are a PE teacher, right? Physical wellness?
Yes, sir.
Right, teacher that is using HTML. Uh-oh. Somebody
That even got a comment from Marcus Painter.
Somebody called Dr. Timms because I didn't see that coming. But that was fantastic. Yes, that using that embed code and throwing that right into a page saves yourself the trouble of having to consistently, right, change that one link somewhere in a page that you buried, to a Google form or a Google slide, right? Using that embed, because the Google slides here, using that embed code just allows you to because you change that in your Google slide and that updates across all those platforms. You do it once. All your phys ed teachers aren't worried about like who's got the right version, who can access it. That was the tip of the day so far.
Like you said, that was a game changer for us, just having it where we could just upload it once on my computer and it goes across to Miss C's and Coach Smelser's. And I'll be honest, before this school year, we'd heard about Canvas. Johnson City Schools has done a great job. We were out in front of this pandemic when it came to technology. It felt like it didn't really apply to us, but with the work of David Timms, Tina Faust, the whole technology team, they had us prepared for this school year. And I would have no clue how to have done that before this season or this school year started. But through their help, all of Johnson City Schools, our school board superintendent, all the way down, just getting us ready. And that way we could put out our best foot and put out the best content and learning different tips and tricks like that. So shout out to everybody there for helping us and getting us ready. Absolutely.
It's clear, David, Dr. Timms, that you guys really did some legwork here. And
well, it's because of these guys. You can see, Eddie, as the morning has gone on, we've got the best teachers you can find.
Yeah, these guys they're rocking the house, right? And we even have some folks here from California joining us. So there are people all over the country and all over the world that get to see these, and they're going to learn today. That's all I can say. David Nutter is up next. There was a lot of razzing happening before the session about David and how this session would go. So I'm a little excited to see him actually just crush this and put Kelly in his place, because Kelly was doing a little bit. David, we were talking about tech issues with you. Kelly's the only one that's dropped out of this live stream. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you saved the best for last. That's all there is to it. So actually, that's why we put Miss Cutlip last, because she's going to. She's going to reel us in. But so my name's David Nutter. I live here in Johnson City. I moved up here in 2000 to attend East Tennessee State University. Earned my Bachelor of Science there in 2004. Went on and got my Master of Art in Teaching from ETSU. And then I went on a few years later, after I had a few kids, and earned my EDS in administration at Lincoln Memorial University, where Dr. Timms was actually one of my professors, I think, in one of the summer classes. But this is a picture of my family. My wife and I, we have 4 kids. One is an 8th grader, one's a 6th grader, one's a 3rd grader, and one's in pre-K. So as far as the full gamut of education, if you come to my house late at night, we have about half the grades of the Johnson City Schools within our home. So to see Canvas and see how it's played out this year with COVID, and the online learning platform of Canvas, it's really neat for me as an educator to see what different teachers are doing at different levels of school here in Johnson City. Years of teaching, 15 years, 11 years in the classroom, teaching health, 4 years in PE. I actually taught with Mr. Lane in the gym there for 3 years, and I've transitioned over to Liberty Bell, which is the 7th and 8th grade school. So having Mr. Lane kind of laying the groundwork, the framework of Canvas at the 5th and 6th grade level, it's kind of like an elementary level style PE. They're learning the basics, but it's definitely he's laying the groundwork, paving the right path for when they get to me in the 7th and 8th grade. So occupations, teacher, I'm the youth director at the church, Science Hill High School cross country coach, Liberty Bell Middle School wrestling coach, Science Hill High School track coach in the spring, and then hobbies, hiking with family, traveling with family, and I'm currently trying to find time to train for a half Ironman and the full Ironman. So just very busy. So when I list all these things, the occupation and hobbies, I do that so that you, the viewer, can see Rome wasn't built in a day. So when you see Mr. Lane's his Canvas courses, when you see mine, when you see Ms. Cutlip's, we have taken over the course of time. So, back a year and a half ago when we were learning the online platform of how to incorporate PE and health, into Canvas, it can be overwhelming. And so for you, the viewer, looking into this, what we're presenting, for me personally, I took baby steps. I had smaller goals to reach the big goals that we're achieving, and we're continuing to change and revamp the things that we're doing on our Canvas courses. So let me just dive right into where we are with 7th and 8th grade here. Let's see. All right. So here we are. Obviously, you may have seen something identical to this. Just click on this, and I'm going straight into my module. Actually, let me go into my homepage here. Here's what my homepage looks like. Wait for it. Here it is. And it's just kind of repeating what I've just said, kind of introducing myself, kind of introducing the class, a little video here that I've embedded, and going on down here for the parents note that leads into my Canvas courses. So let's jump right into my modules. For Mr. Lane, his is very interactive with the other students within his either online learning or the remote learners and into in-person. He talked about how once they went back to full in-person, they still had students wanting to dabble with the online competitions. For me, at the 7th and 8th grade level, our students are going in, a lot of this on Canvas is very, I don't want to say repetitive, but between each of my modules, you'll see they're set up pretty much the same. It's very user-friendly because I know, being a dad of an 8th grader, a 6th grader, a 3rd grader, if you have a routine, they thrive on routine. So in seeing all the responsibilities that they have with their other classes, I want them to open up a PE module and think, okay, this is user friendly. I can knock out this assignment and still have time to do my sciences, my maths, social studies, ELA. So going right in, I'm not going to give you a quick rundown of everything I do, but let's just look at, let's say module 2, starting an exercise program, and I've already opened it up here. So what I've done is it's more individual. At this point, 7th and 8th graders, Mr. Lane, like I said, he has laid the groundwork for just learning the basics of how to navigate through Canvas. So here, I've had my students, and Mr. Lane hit on this too, like instead of sitting at a computer and living a sedentary lifestyle, this is what I've created for them. All right. It's basically a weekly fitness log. It's a fitness tracker. So here's a sample. So here's how, this is where I take my attendance as well. So you'll see where they log in their physical activity throughout the week. They set smaller goals. You'll see in my to-do list, let me go back to Canvas here. There'll be a to-do list throughout my modules. So overview and to-do list right here, module 1. There's the assignment. And there's a little quiz. And as you go down through here, they'll also have like links for PowerPoints. So the PowerPoints will directly reflect how they score and what they do in the quiz. Now with the quiz, I give them multiple attempts. A lot of times I don't know what's going on at other people's homes, like internet situations. And so I don't know if they've gotten kicked off the internet and all of a sudden their time has lapsed, so I leave it open-ended time to where they can refer back to a PowerPoint. So throughout my modules, say module 1 will be module 4 will be week 4, gameplay, sport, situations and tactics. So they can go through this, read the PowerPoint, view the PowerPoint, answer the quiz, and also do go back to their module 1 and complete their fitness tracker. So throughout the weeks, as the weeks goes on, they're not only doing PowerPoint and a quiz, but they're also weekly, daily, filling out their fitness log. And so that's kind of how I've set it up with them. With Indian Trail, with Liberty Bell, we have been a hybrid schedule. So 50% have been in person, while the other 50% have been at home, kind of like an A/B schedule. So now we are back 100%. So even juggling my remote students, the hybrid schedule, and fully in person, this format that I've produced for our 7th and 8th graders have been great. So if they're in person, they still have to go back in and fill out their workout log and complete the module for the week. So it's all inclusive. It's asynchronous. And so it's worked out well for our students. I've had good feedback from not only the students, but the parents themselves. So that's basically 7th and 8th grade in a nutshell. And as they progress on from 8th grade on into Science Hill, you'll see how Missy Cutlip has taken what Lane and I have worked on from 5th grade all the way up to 8th grade into high school, and how it's more individual, and how they're building on basically the past 4 years into their 4 years in high school. So to wrap it up, this is basically what I have for 7th and 8th grade at Liberty Bell.
It's fantastic. Dr. Timms, I know that this is something you preach, but I want every school leader, administrator, coach, technical integrationist to understand the point of this session that is underlying some of the things that you guys are talking about, which is you start from the bottom, which is your elementary students, right? You get them prepared and you work with them towards, proficiency of not only what you'd like to teach them in physical ed and wellness, but the tool itself, right? You mentioned it, David, that was Kelly gets them ready and gets them started and gets them very familiar with how to use Canvas. So when they get to me, they have that base knowledge, and then I can work on, deepening some of those skills. Yes. And then I bet by the time they get to you, Missy, it is
and Missy and David have parent perspective, which I value a lot in the work we do. And in our district, we didn't talk about this, and then the others, Eddie, we have teachers all the way down to kindergarten using Canvas. It's mandated platform, 3rd grade and up. But we've had some schools that have gone all the way down to K. So it's not, David's exactly right. They're preparing them to continue going up.
And something to kind of talk about, Dr. Timms, is I can easily see kids getting frustrated with the online platform. And by the time they get to us, it's almost like they shut down because they want to focus on the core classes. And it's like, if we can make it user-friendly and we can make it, for me, honestly, less is more. If you right. present it in such a way that, I can do this, and they get in there and they actually start doing it, and before you realize it, they're 45 minutes into our assignment, and it's like, mm-hmm. oh yeah, I've got math still, but they're still like, mm-hmm. but I want to do this for Mr. Lane because I want to click on this tennis ball and see what's right. under the corner or whatever, And so by the time they get to me, they're like, what's Coach Nutter got for us? What's Coach Cutlip got for us? And so you're right. I mean, to have that perspective of my own kids, to see them get frustrated at times, it's a self-check for me as an educator to be like, how can I make this user-friendly so that all of Johnson City schools are like, I got to do my PE online assignment. You know what I mean?
I love it. All right, Missy, you're up. It's your time to shine. I can't wait. We did save the best for last. David's right. We saved the best for last.
I don't know about that, but I just wanted to highlight a little bit about how I've been teaching for quite a while. Most of my time has been in high school. That's my passion. I've been at Science Hill for actually 17 years. It's ending my 17th year. And I'm quite busy. As you can see my picture to the right, I have 4 children, just like Coach Nutter. And we are busy people. My husband and I both teach here. We both have online classes. But I want to tell everyone out there that this is very doable. Canvas is very easy to work. A couple of tech days with Dr. Timms and the other awesome tech leaders that we have here in Johnson City Schools taught me a lot and taught me how to create the course that I'm going to show you today. So as busy as you are, I promise this is easy to operate. And hopefully the things I share with you today are the things that you can actually use in your class as well, whether it be PE or whatever. So before I actually move on to my wellness class, I wanted to highlight some of our other teachers here at Science Hill. This is actually a segment I just screenshot from the fitness class that actually my husband teaches this. And I want to tell you, down at the bottom right, you see a Canvas Studio video. I'm telling you, Canvas Studio, game changer, because it can
Probably want to hear.
Oh my goodness. Canvas Studio is absolutely amazing, because if I'm teaching my students here in the classroom and somebody is out sick, or they miss my class because of a dentist appointment, or heaven forbid we have to go back to being on a hybrid schedule, they still get the lesson for the day and I don't have to repeat it over and over and over. So I love, love, love it. Students can also refer to it often. They can always come back to it. They're like, oh, what did Ms. Cutlip say about this? And they can always just go back to it. So Canvas Studio, awesome. I can't live without it. It makes my job as a teacher so much easier. But with what you see in front of you, this activity log in the introductory module in the fitness class, he has several descriptors of what needs to be done. So I just screenshot this so you can't see it all, but actually he explains what the students need to do each week. Now, with fitness, for us, it's a 9-week course and it couples with finance. So each of the 9 weeks, the students have to submit their fitness log. So this is in the beginning and he explains to them how to do it. So there's the descriptor. They also have to give themselves a pre-test and a post-test of where their fitness standards are. And he goes through explaining each one of those with several examples. Now, the fun thing about this, they can submit their log just with the numbers. They can actually create a Canvas Studio of themselves saying, hey, Coach Cutlip, check me out. I'm at the Science Hill track and I'm doing my mile run now. And then they can turn in their numbers. So kids can have fun with Canvas Studio as well as teachers. It makes it more interactive. We can actually see that they're actually doing it and not just, making up numbers for us. This is actually a picture from our women's weightlifting course. I just wanted to show you that they can embed videos as well. This is actually one of our trainers that you see demonstrating what the students need to be doing in the weight room. And as you go through, you can see with the big circles, it pauses at each one of these to ask the students a question. It goes to an actual quiz like you would see here. It asks them one question at a time, or however many questions you want to embed in there. So it asks the questions as they watch the video. So that's a pretty cool feature as well. And he even goes into how to read a workout. Again, at the bottom, the Canvas Studio video embedded, explaining to the students how to do that. So those are some other classes, but what I'd like to do now is show you actually my wellness course, if I can get to it here. Where'd it go? Sorry about this. Here we go. Okay, so sorry, technical difficulties. I'm honestly the dinosaur of the whole group. So if I can learn all of this technology stuff, anybody can. So going to my wellness class, I wanted to show you the awesome things that I like to do with my students that have gotten the best feedback for us. With this wellness course, with my modules, I always like to start off with
Did we freeze, Eddie?
Technical difficulties is right, Missy. You are the next contestant on it. She's coming back. There she is.
Oh, have I been gone? Oh, no.
You're fine. You are back. Everything is fine. You can just go ahead and you had network connectivity problems, right?
Oh, I don't know how long have I been off?
Maybe 20 seconds probably at the most.
20 seconds.
Not
Okay.
long at all.
Pick up where you were left off and we'll be good.
Okay, so I was honestly just starting off with my introductory module, just showing all of the self-help kind of stuff. But in the student help videos, this is honestly the most visited by all of my students, because not only is it how to navigate Canvas, because Lane, Nutter, all the amazing teachers here, they have done a great job with prepping them for what is expected of the high school. Hopefully by the time they get to this point, they understand how to do all of that. But with my course, my students are older. I teach 9th graders. Fitness is for juniors. Women's weightlifting can be any grade as long as they've already passed the wellness class. And we have lots of opportunities for these older students. We require a lot more of them. And what I like to do is integrate more math and English skills. It's more cross-curricular. And with my wellness class, it's a lot of health information. So yes, I like to mix it up a bit, have them create a poem. They do have to create concept maps and making Venn diagrams. I give them videos showing them how, okay, don't just, regurgitate what you have accumulated here with your knowledge. I actually want you to show me text evidence, give me a reflection that has meaning to it. So the self-help videos are used a lot. But let's go back to the modules after they really know about the class. I have all of the modules set up to be the state standards for Tennessee. That's how I break it down. So it just kind of helps me out. But guiding you through all of this, let's just look at module 1. When we're starting off with the course, again, these amazing Canvas Studio videos help to explain to the students what my expectations are to help them get started with the class. When you click next, the first thing in every module is my unit plan. I have created the unit plan to include all that they would need, tell them the whole overview, what my goals are for these students, the terms that they will need to know. I've actually embedded lessons so they don't have to scroll through information. They could actually just click on one. The links that they're going to have to refer to throughout this whole entire unit, and then the Tennessee state standards that they are to cover that just have the checkoff list here. So let's say that I want to go to lesson 4. I just click on lesson 4 and it jumps right to this lesson plan. So I have the unit plan. Now I'm going to the lesson plan. It gives all of my essential questions, the understanding, the objectives for this lesson, and then tells the student, okay, by the end of this day, here's all of the things that I need you to do for me, okay? So I have it all mapped out for them. And I want to show, with this, I want to show you another life changer for me for Canvas. I know some people don't like this, but it has made a big impact on me for several reasons. If you'll notice, I actually have numbers before the name of each of my assignments, like 1, 2, 8. I do this for a reason. That means that this is the 8th assignment in the 2nd lesson of module 1. But by doing this, it puts it in sequential order for the students. I know Canvas has this amazing thing to the side where the kids can see their to-do list and you have the calendar of due dates. But knowing the sequential order of what assignments are needed there, it helps the students do assignments in order. Also, it puts it in order on the grade book for me so I can grade things as they come in, okay? Are y'all still with me? I don't hear a lot of feedback here.
Missy, that's a huge, huge takeaway for, I think, a lot of teachers is the organization for you.
Good. I'm glad that's very useful. It used to just scatter things around, but I just noticed that putting them in order just really helped me out a lot. Okay, so as I was talking about integrating, the cross-curricular kinds of information, I wanted to show you a couple of things like this calorie requirement. So students are to figure out if they wanted to maintain their current weight how many calories do they need to eat in a day? And this is, in several lessons in, we've already looked at calories, how many calories are in different kinds of foods. But we have a calculation here. It is quite cumbersome. It's a lot of information. But like I said, when you scroll down, embedding these Canvas studio videos or any video whatsoever, so they can always refer back to, just really helps the students out. And the next one as well is another math equation. They have to look at a food label, grabbing a food label from their kitchen, or maybe if we're in school, something that they picked up in the cafeteria. We're actually looking at percentages of energy sources in food. They already know we get our energy from carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So again, another brief formula, but it kind of is cumbersome to look at. So the videos do help out a whole lot. So I want to show you not just the fitness classes, not just the women's weightlifting classes, but wellness as well. We actually go through with fitness logs. So if I recall correctly, Mr. Nutter, you do fitness logs as well, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So we go over the FIT formula. Then the students are actually going through their goals of what they need to do. And oops, I think I skipped right over it. Sorry about that. They have to make their own fitness log with information that they have concluded already from the previous classes that they've learned. So they already know how to embed the information. So we touch on that as well. So with all of this, let's see.
And while you're looking through, Ms. Cutlip, like what I really like to see is how Lane has put it out there, and he's made it interactive with Bitmojis, and at my level, it's almost like I've created the graph and they fill it in. And it looks like, for me is, in viewing this, it's like now they're learning how to construct it themselves to take ownership of it. And it's almost like you put the objectives, the standards out there, and for them to create it day by day. I mean, that is like building from fifth all the way up to seniors. It's like, it's really neat to see the progression to where they take ownership so that once they graduate from high school, it's like, it's a lifelong commitment in physical education, Yeah,
it's almost like the farm team approach, right, David? Like you've taken these students, at a very young age and kind of molded them so that they can be, handed off to the next level, and then handed off to the next level and handed off to the next level. Like your job is to make them better at the next level, which for these kids, it's middle school or elementary, then middle, then high school. That approach is so valuable. I'm glad you brought that up because, again, we talked a little bit about it before Missy started. But man, if you just have this type of buy-in across all levels in your district, these are the types of things that can happen.
Well, and the full circle, Eddie, that we're hearing from parents and from students when they're going to college, they're ready for this blended learning environment. That was one of our biggest reasons for choosing Canvas as an LMS back in 2016, is so that our students would leave Science Hill ready for a higher ed experience. And gosh, now you're seeing it goes all the way down in the 5th grade with
I love it.
Kelly.
Yes, my oldest son is in college. He started last year. He's a sophomore this year. Every one of his teachers are like this. So coming to Science Hill, all of my children are in Johnson City schools. This is, nothing new for them. So it really does help them out with all of these skills later on. A couple of other things I just wanted to throw in before I finish up here. With Canvas, the most amazing thing, you can go to the left and click on your grades and go through all the assignments and, you're grading everything. You can read all the material. I just wanted to point out, in case anyone didn't know, the Canvas app on your phone, oh my goodness. I use that so much, especially in the summer. As I told you, I have 4 boys. We're active. I'm coaching. My children are playing baseball, basketball, whatever it happens to be. If we're in between games, I can get my phone out and I can grade student assignments. I can read. any questions that they have that they've sent me on the Canvas inbox. And so that Canvas app is very, very helpful. But before I log off here and pass things back to Eddie, I wanted to show one more thing. I just wanted to make a little shameless plug here for other things, not just our classes, but our coaches here at Science Hill have really grabbed Canvas and made it into something for that, especially with COVID. You never know when a game's going to be canceled or practicing. Oh, we don't have a gym today. We're going to have to go from 5 to 7 instead of 3 to 5. Instead of sending out a text message or having or the Remind app or Bloom, whatever happens to be that you use, if you have all of your students on a Canvas course, he created a basketball Canvas course, and I'm creating one for cheer as well. You have parents as parent observers, they can see everything. When you scroll down here, he's got all of these links. Every one of his schedules are listed on here, helpful, and he can send updates. He can send announcements to let them know different things. So we're creating one for that. You push out all of your information, and it's all there. So Canvas is very helpful in many ways, not just for our wellness classes. So
bonus content here on the live stream. That's what we call a twofer.
Right. That's right.
Not only phys, but also coaches. I love it. Yeah, there are just so many applications, and that was just a great transition into how you can use Canvas at multiple levels in the school. We don't have a coaching session, but you got a little taste there, and that was absolutely fantastic. David, Johnson City School strikes again. That's what I'm just going to say. This was so good. Missy, Kelly, David, thank you so much for being on the live stream today. We have enjoyed having you. As always, connect with us on all the social media platforms and send us all of the good stuff and share with us on all of our social media platforms as we get through the Johnson City Schools Day on our live streams, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We have career and tech educators talking about how they use Canvas for remote learning. You can already tell I'm grinning from ear to ear. As Marcus would say, I'm a little giddy about talking career and tech ed at 2 p.m. But this has been fantastic. We can't wait to see you. 12:30 Eastern time. We're going to have another session come up.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you guys later.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Timms.